Hello, are you the handyman?
Man, it is a blazer out here. You're lucky you got air conditioning in here like Mother Nature intended.
Are you here to install the shower door?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Well, we ordered the Dreamline shower door to replace our shower curtain because we've replaced that shower curtain about 50 times, so.
Well, I can help you with that. In this video, I'm going to cover how to install a Dreamline shower door for your tub or shower. I'm going to do an overview on this shower door because there's so many different models of shower doors out there. There's going to be some variations in the steps, so I'm not going to cover everything step by step. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick note here. The anchors that this thing comes with to anchor your assembly to the shower walls. Alright, so the first thing I usually do is I find a nice big open area and I'll open the box, as you can see here, all the parts inside, and I'll empty the box onto a nice large flat surface so you can kind of see what you got and everything's organized. You don't have to do it this way, but this is just the way I always do these kind of things. And once you get the box opened up and spread out, then you're going to want to take off your shower curtain. As you can see right here, I took off the shower curtain, and going to need some patchwork on the drywall. So if you have a shower curtain that you're going to have to remove, you might have the same problem. I'm not going to show how to patch the drywall. I've got several videos on drywall repair if you want to see those and patch those up for yourself. But after that, you're going to want to measure the opening at the bottom and at the top. The instructions also say to measure in the middle, but I don't really see the point in that. And it looks like about 57.5. I already measured the top and it's pretty close to the same. Alright, so as I said before at the beginning of the video, this is going to be kind of a general overview of how to install a shower door to your bathtub or shower. I do want to mention something. This door opens in the center with two doors, and it's got two stationary panels on each end. So when you cut the rails at the top and on the bottom, you got to cut the same amount off of the end of each rail so that everything stays centered. If you have the bypass door style, that may or may not be the case. You might be able to cut it all off of one end, but your instructions are going to say on that aspect. But I've got my measurement, as you saw earlier, and I wanted to tell you sometimes you have to allow for the side rails to fit with the top and bottom rails, so because there's a thickness there. If they slide, you know, next to the bottom rails. This door has already allowed for that. As I said before, my measurement was 57.5, and the total assembled width here is 60. But when you measure it, it actually comes to about 59 and 7/8. So they're already allowing you an extra 1/8 of an inch right there. So when I take my 57.5, the top and bottom rails are not going to be 57.5. They're going to be short of that because the total assembled width is 60. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Alright, so what I'm using here is a metal chop saw. If you have one of these, this is going to work perfectly. If you don't have one of these, you can obviously use a hacksaw or a side grinder. Any of those things will work, but I'm going to go ahead with the chop saw because it's going to be the straightest cut. So as you can see, the directions here want you to build the frame on the floor, and I've got the screws in each corner. There's 8 screws altogether, and I've slipped the glass in here. They want you to do this before you try to put it in the tub. If I were you, if you're building a shower that looks like this and you're building the frame on the floor, before you put the glass in and get all the heaviness in there, I would take the frame and put it in the tub to make sure that your measurements were right and everything looks like it's gonna fit. Then I would go ahead and bring it back and put the glass in. So yeah, this glass just goes in here just like so. You gotta slide it up into the groove all the way back. And we'll do the same thing with the other glass just as soon as I can. These glass holders just look like that, and they go just right there and right there, and then two more on the other side. Originally, if I hadn't cut this to the tub, the holes were over here for the glass holders, but since we had to cut it, we moved everything back. The instructions actually say to mark the hole where the glass holder is going to go, drill the hole, and then put the glass back. Take the glass out, and then drill a hole, and then put the glass back. But I'm kind of like one of those guys that goes against the grain, so I'm not going to follow the directions. I'm going to go ahead and just drill the hole right there because I know it's going to work. But I'm going to leave that up to you guys. I just inserted the other glass, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other two glass holders. Yeah, this would be a good time to install any kind of weather stripping that the shower door comes with. This one here comes with one that goes in between the glass and this metal frame. They did mention in the instructions that you shouldn't use a screwdriver because you might wind up scratching it to pieces, but I found that the back side of a carpenter's pencil like this actually works pretty good to push that puppy all the way down in there. So just work that all the way down. That's about a 1/4 inch too long. All right, moving on. All right, so if you have any kind of a sleeve like this that slides over this, this is a good time to put this on here, because once you get it in the tub, you won't be able to. And just do the other side just like that, and it's just about ready to carry it over there. So we've carried the assembly into the shower right here. If you have a helper, that would be good to have somebody sit there and hold it. What I'm doing is I'm putting the shower assembly in place, or the doors, so that I can mark the screw holes that are inside on the flanges. All right, and then once you mark the screw holes, you're going to have to move the assembly out of the way so you can drill the holes. All right, as you can see, there's a flange here on the inside of the rail, and the holes there are where your screws go. So just wanted to show that. Obviously, you're going to have a level to plumb the door before you mark the holes. I just wanted to show this real quick here. I got the holes drilled for the flanges. And I'm going to insert some wall anchors into those holes. Here's the other side right here. I know I'm hand holding the camera, but it's just too tight in here for a tripod. What I'm going to do after I put the wall anchors in, there's the wall anchors right there. All right, what I'm going to do after I get the wall anchors in is I'm going to apply some silicone caulk all up and down here and around along the bottom and the other side, and also get the silicone around the holes. So I'm not going to show that part, but you'll know that that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick note here. The anchors that this thing comes with to anchor your assembly to the shower walls is basically the junk of the earth. Don't use them. Take them and throw them as far as you can before you even get to them. The problem is there's no flange on top of this thing, and as soon as you put these things in the hole and you look at it, they fall inside the wall. That you can't get a screw to get this started. They just do not work. You might as well plan up front to get new anchors, and that's all I have to say about that. I wanted to mention a little bit about caulk. As you can see here, I put some tape around the outside frame on the sides and on the bottom, and I left just a little bit of a gap right there for the caulk, and when you peel that tape up, it looks really good. On the inside, I didn't really go through all that, but I did have to caulk around both vertical frames and along the bottom as well. Okay, so just wanted to mention all that. I used a clear silicone caulk. It works perfect. All right, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. These steps are going to be specific to this door, but a lot of your doors, the bypass doors, will have rollers on them as well, so they might just be similar. This one here just wants you to put the rollers through the glass and tighten them up with a hand screwdriver. You don't want to use a impact drill or anything like that, because you might get the screws too tight and wind up shattering the glass, so that would be a bad thing. Keep in mind your door might have different rollers for the top and for the bottom if you have rollers like these. So don't put the rollers on there and then find out you got them backwards. There's one other tip that I would mention. The instructions say to caulk the inside of the door last. I would not do that, because when you put the doors in place, they're in the way and you can't caulk the bottom rail. So I would get your caulking out of the way before you install the doors, because you're going to be fighting with the doors trying to get the caulk gun through there. The instructions could have been written a little bit better. They are pretty hard to follow. I think the instructions actually make the installation of this door harder than it actually is. It's not that hard, but when you're trying to read the instructions and figure out what they're talking about, it makes it more harder than it really is. Also, the instructions call for putting these seals on after the door is in place. I find it easier to put it on while it's still here on the floor. So we're just going to get the top wheels in the trap first. Just like so. And then on this particular door, all you got to do is push these pins down and the door should pop in place. Just like that. Now what you're going to want to do is adjust the doors so that they're level. This one's already pretty level. So let's see how they fit. So we have a little gap at the bottom right here. Just got to adjust that out. Yeah, that looks pretty good. If you have a helper for this part, it does make things a little bit easier. I usually would put the screws facing the inside. The directions don't really say one way or the other. I just think it's a little bit cleaner when you look at it. They just give you these little plastic pieces to stick in the screw holes to cover up the heads. And that's it. It's done.
I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed this video, click on the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I do come out with videos like this as often as I can. Thanks for watching.